Try to sort cameras out again. Usual morning nightmare, I think. Seems like I always have this trouble. All right, let's try the other one. Get out of here before things go awry. Okay, we're going, and I think we're filming a pretty good shot angle there. All right, do I have my... No, I do not have the camera and the binoculars. I need to get those. All right, camera and binoculars. Now the question is, how do I pull out from here? My inclination is to drop the bow and then just be ready to go back and then pull up the stern anchor at the time when we clear. So that's what we'll do. All right, have I activated? Let me go check. I think I did, but I better go check. Nope, I didn't. I better not put those gloves on or they'll get wet. Mosquitoes are out in force again. I don't know what happened. There weren't any last night, but now today they're all over. We'll coil this line later. Pull up the anchor. Stern anchors should be fairly short. All right, there we go. Should be sandy, but feels muddy. It is muddy, full of mud. Trying to clear the anchor, but I can't get it all off, so it'll have to just live with it. And we'll take care of that later. I need to move on at this point, so. I need to go put the bimini back in place. I forgot to do that after I flew the drone. There's always so many things to remember. I'm pretty good at remembering most things, but sometimes I forget. Fortunately, there's light winds this morning. I'm not going very far, and I'm hoping that the place that I'm heading to will provide what I need for cover. Figured as long as I'm up here, I might as well coil this line since the wind's not blowing me all over the place. Mosquitoes are trying to get me though. Might as well put the lines away. I'm here anyway, so yeah, we'll do the anchor too. Just because we're in calm water and might as well take care of it. This hose is a little bit in the way right now, but I'm just coiling the line, putting it in the bucket, and putting the chain back. Just things are organized a little bit for when I get to the next spot. All right, that's done. All right, where's my depth? 25 feet. Get out into deeper water here and try to go up wind enough to get to where I'm headed. Hopefully I can find a spot before too long, before the wind comes up any higher. Looks like about what forecast, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. All right, we're off at 9:10 in the morning and less than an hour to go. Well, we got the windshield up, that helps today to block the wind because it's cool. It's well, last I looked was 50 degrees. For late June, that's pretty cool. Well, it provided me some protection, but there isn't much of a point there. And then, of course, this escarpment, the wind just funnels right down through here. That thunderstorm just sucked the air right towards it, causing the straight line winds there of about 50, I'm guessing. I don't know because I didn't have a wind gauge up. It was pretty nasty, but the Lord protected me. I asked for the calming of the winds, and He calmed the winds. They were shooting, it was about 50, and then and the waves were just really rocking the boat, something terrible. After the winds dropped down, I suppose they dropped back to again about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Then the waves went down, the wind went down, and it was relatively quiet, little rocking, but not much. After that in the afternoon, and then in the evening the winds dropped considerably. I had a pleasant night. No mosquitoes either. That was a pleasant thing. This morning they were out in swarms, but I don't know if I'm letting them in. When I'm getting mosquito heaven, opening and closing the doors, I'm allowing them in. I don't know if that's the case, but last night I didn't have any. So that was a good sign that maybe the boat is tight. I got these mosquito repellent bags that they claim last for a month. I've put out 4 of them. They haven't done a thing as far as I can tell. Mosquitoes were just as bad with them as without, so I don't know. It really bugs me when they claim these things and they don't work. But in all honesty, I should have tested it beforehand. I'll look around, maybe I can find another alternative. I was going to get coils because I know they'd worked in the past, but they create smoke and I didn't really like that inside. But I may have to go back to coils, mosquito coils. Winds are reasonable this morning, which is nice, because for one thing, I'm not sure I can get into this place I'm going to. The water's up, so I think I can, but I'll just try. It's a small little cove, and I may have to use a stern anchor again, just if I don't have enough swing room. That was the case here. The anchor was in about 15 feet of water or more. Came up really steep. Was able to tie off to that birch tree, big old birch, and then put a stern anchor down to hold the stern. That worked. The only problem with using a stern anchor is if the wind switches, then you don't get it's better if you can swing with the wind. We'll have to just play that by ear when we get up here. Beautiful cliffs down in this neck of the woods. It's just too bad that I couldn't go below the bridge. It's amazing to me that they didn't have any kind of published boat clearance there, but I couldn't find anything on the internet when I searched ahead of coming up here. And if you try to get local knowledge, most of the people don't live down here, so they probably very few of them go under that bridge. Clearance was about 6.5 to 7 feet. Well, I need at least 8 to go under with the bimini, and with the camera up, I need another 4. So anyway, along the short, that particular element of the trip is out, so I'm just going to mosey my way back. The good part of that is if it's windy, I don't have to go anywhere. I can just pick my days to travel, and that's good. Cloudy day, kind of a completely overcast. I thought it was supposed to be partly sunny today, actually, but these forecasts I get off the Zoleo I'm wondering if that thing is, I am hearing that recording. Well, it's on, it's working, just not hearing it. Well, I'm almost back to where I was a couple days ago, and there is anchorages there. If I have to come back, I can do that. But I'm going to try a little different spot about a mile further on. Haven't been out much in the kayak. I was planning to do that down on the river more because I thought I could do more fishing down there. It would be protected, probably catch a few northern. The lake here is so deep that I'm not really set up to fish for trout, although I could. So far I've been busy enough, I just haven't found the times. What I'm really going to need to do is make sure I pick my time to cross the big part of the water on the north end. When it comes to that, that's many days from now, but we had a good week. Other than wind yesterday, it's been pretty good. I did drag the anchor though the other day. I guess I shouldn't speak too quickly. Although the wind that pulled the anchor out wasn't that strong. It was maybe a gust of 20 miles an hour, which typically this boat can handle that no problem if it's anchored. But I had a shallow anchorage there, and the scope was less than I usually put out, 5 to 1 instead of 7 to 1, because of the tight quarters. I didn't have the swing room, but I should have put out a stern anchor, and that would have been a backup in case the one anchor got pulled out for some reason. So, sometimes you learn the hard way. Windshield really helps to keep it warmer. With this water temperature, right now it's 50 degrees here, water temperature. The wind chill is pretty low. Air temperature, like I said, was about the same as the water temperature. I imagine the wind chill is down around high 30s, 40s, low 40s, somewhere's in there. And of course, even with a vest, I almost need a jacket. I do carry a rain jacket that I can put on in those events, but so far I haven't had to use it. The other day I probably should have. I got chilled pretty good. Well, I'm hoping I can get in here. It's kind of a narrow entrance. I think it's a creek there. The flow of the creek keeps then there's sand. I think it keeps the kind of open there, place for the water to run out of the little inlet. How deep it is and whether it's deep enough for me to get through, that remains to be seen. It's a little bit like the one I stayed at a couple days ago. Had to go around a little sand spit there. But with this wind here, might be hard to see the bottom or the sand. So we'll just go in real slow. The marine chart doesn't show anything. Not very happy with the charts. I purchased the chart just because they were, I don't know, they just looked more colorful than the ones I had before. It wasn't that it added any more information. It just appeared to be a little more accurate. Well, I think they're using the same basis for the chart because they were identical. I checked back and forth between Navionics and the one I'm using now, and they were pretty much identical. So they were both just as inaccurate as the others. It was no help. Well, this one is going to be right underneath the cliff again. Hopefully we won't get one of those straight line winds. They can, thunderstorms can create their own wind, and when they have this high terrain around, it can get pretty nasty in a hurry. I've experienced that now twice. The other time was near Thunder Bay in my sailboat, a Sleeping Giant. The winds were so strong that it knocked the boat down, beam on, with the mast almost in the water. Winds there figured we were over 60 miles an hour, knocked trees over on the shore. Pretty terrifying. The anchor held. I had to start the engine up to try to help hold it, and it did. It held. I had 2 kids and my wife on board at the time, and a dog. The entrance looks wider than it maybe is. Kind of hard. It won't be hard. It'll be hard to tell until I get it close. Wind is already coming up, which doesn't help going into a place like this. But we better go by the entrance first, I think, and see what we've got. I don't want to get too brazen because the wind is going to push me down or could push me down in the sand there, and I don't want to get stuck. Okay, we better head up into the wind a little bit more here. We're kind of pushing down on the shore. 6 feet. I better get out here a little bit further. All right, let's get the motor up a ways. It looks like I can get in there. .6. .4 feet. Worked. Looks like. Not in yet. About 3 feet was the minimum. The wind is blowing me sideways, which doesn't help. Now I just need to find a spot to drop the anchor. 12 feet, perfect. Well, it's a little deep, but I'm sure up at the end here it'll get 9 feet, 7 feet. All right, let's put it down. All right, what do I got here? Can't tell. Oh, I've got 60 feet out, so plenty. I think what I'll do is put a stern anchor out. It's a little narrow in here with this much scope. I'd prefer to have too much scope than not enough. So we'll let that swing around. Can't tell if it's holding. Try it again. Man, it's muddy bottom. It shouldn't be a problem with holding. That's the problem. I guess it was just too muddy. Try it one more time. Let's try that. kind of a soupy mud, almost too liquid to hold really well. Looks like it's holding that time, so let's see. Well, I better give her a goose first. All right, let's let out extra line, and then we'll put the stern anchor out. I think it's holding. No, it's not holding. I don't think. No, it's not holding. Try it again. Maybe I'm not going to be able to stay here. I can't get an anchor to hold here. Wow, more trouble. I don't know. I know what I'm going to find here. It's going to be the same kind of mud. It's kind of a weird, weedy consistency. So I'm going to go out further. Maybe I'll get more sand. Kind of go up in the backside of this pit, like right there. Let me put it in reverse. Try it again. I feel like that's holding. Yeah, I think it's holding now. We'll put this out and then put another 10 feet, and then we'll drop the stern anchor. All right, stern anchor. And then we'll pull the bow up. I forgot to put the engine in neutral. Try this again. I swear it's quite the exercise here. So we'll bring it in until we got about 50 feet. All right, that's at 70 or 60 feet. I could probably let the stern out a little bit further. We'll see. Let me go check. Yeah, we could let this out a little bit more. Tighten up just a little bit on the bow. Yeah, that's good enough right there. All right, stern and bow anchor. That should keep us from getting in trouble, hopefully. We're not supposed to have any strong winds like yesterday anyway, but you always... I was surprised yesterday. Could get surprised again. So yeah, that's good. A little tension on it. Keep me bow to the exposed open area. Well, good afternoon, folks. Arrived here about 10:15, I think it was. It's still cool, 55 degrees or so outside, thus the vest. And the sky is starting to break up. There was cloudy, full cloud cover this morning, but now it is puffy clouds with some blue sky between. Wind has picked up a little more. The tops of the trees are blowing pretty good. I feel pretty secure in this anchorage. It did take me 3 times to set the anchor. At any rate, on the 3rd try, I moved up a little bit closer to the spit coming in here, hoping to get a little more sand bottom, or at least a mix. When I pulled up the anchor the first 2 times I set, it was just the only description I can think of is loon shit. That's exactly what it was. There was no consistency to the mud, so it didn't hold. It would just ball up, you know, and then drag, of course. Once the claw got full, it would just drag. Like I said, on the 3rd try, I managed to get it set. Right up above me here on the ridge, there's a trail, I think. So for me to trek through here, there may be a road that comes down to this little inlet. I don't know. But I don't think I'm going to try to walk up through here. It's not far, but I just don't see any breaks that I'm willing to try walking up to that trail. So I think what I'll do tomorrow, I think I'll stay 2 nights here, and I'll take the kayak and go up along the shore, because it comes close, loops closer to the shore, and there's some sand beaches there. I don't know how much sand beach there is, but at least the road comes down closer to the lake. So if I can get up the bank there and just crawl through there, I think don't have to go through the brush very far to get to it. And then I could take a hike, you know, a couple of miles, whatever I want to do, and just hike along that road. Maybe I can see something. Be nice to be able to catch some wildlife along that trek. I don't think the road is used that much. It's what should I say? It's not a rough forest trail. I think it's a little more established than that. I saw it looked like a bridge down about a mile from here. So it has to be developed enough, I think, probably for trucks to do logging up in this area. So unless there's logging going on, and I haven't heard any activity yet, chances are pretty decent that I can get up to the road and then do some hiking tomorrow. So that's the plan. Stay here 2 nights. The wind will go southwest, I think, tomorrow night. This is still a good anchorage for that. I'm trying to go slow as I go back, because since I couldn't go down under the bridge, that cut my trip about 15 miles off one-way distance. So I was figuring probably at least 2, maybe 3 days down that stretch of the river. That's not going to happen now, because not only could I not get under the bridge, but then coming back to the previous anchorage, or towards the previous anchorage that I had, I couldn't find any anchorages that were shallow enough to anchor. Everything I found took me too close to shore. It was just too deep to have enough swing room to throw the anchor down and just anchor. And there wasn't really a place to tie to shore. It was all spruce, fir, for the most part, and I didn't see at least an easy way to do that. So I kept going. I kept coming back to the north, ended up underneath that big cliff that I took some pictures of the other day, and behind a spit there that kind of went out into the channel, not very far, but it was blocking the wind. So I saw a big birch on shore there hanging out over the water. So I thought, well, I think I can motor right up to that, tie to that birch, and then back away and down, put a stern anchor down, and then just park there. Well, that worked fine. Then in the afternoon, later in the afternoon, all of a sudden it got windy. It was getting up to it was 15 to 20 mile an hour winds and blowing through the channel, but it wasn't affecting me. Except that later on in the afternoon, a thunderstorm moved in around the south end of just south, maybe 2-3 miles at the most. And that thing must have sucked some air out, because all of a sudden wind increased to, I estimated 50 mile an hour straight line winds. And it was blowing so hard that waves were going right around the spit and coming over a sandbar and hitting me and rolling the boat pretty violently. And I didn't know what to do. I thought, can I stay here? I mean, I couldn't last there for long if that wind persisted. It just was violent, and it was going to make a mess out of things. The boat could get damaged in the process, and it just, there's no way to rest or do anything. It was rolling so violently. Stuff was coming off the counter, silverware, plates, cups, everything was falling on the floor. I had to quick secure things so that it wouldn't self-destruct inside. I thought about it. I looked at that thunderstorm to the south. I thought, that's just generating this wind. And the cliffside was funneling the wind down the channel, and so it just accentuated the whole process. And I thought, as soon as that storm passes, that probably is going to back down on the wind. So I held on, because I really didn't have any options of where to go. I thought about it. I couldn't, if I pulled out in the channel, the waves would have been breaking so badly over the bow and then I had no place. Where was I going to go? It was still miles, and both the anchorages to the north, the one place that I should have gone was a tight entry, and I don't like to go into tight entries when there's a lot of wind blowing. So I thought, and I couldn't go back south because there was no anchorage, no protection. So I thought I better just hang on, and I did. Hung on for some time, and eventually the wind did drop down, and it went back to a reasonable situation there, and then I stuck it out. Ended up having a peaceful night. It was restful. No mosquitoes for a change. That was a blessing. And today there's not as many. There's a few around, but it's still cold out, so I've got heat going inside. Just decided to come out and do a little filming here. It's a nice little anchorage. It's cozy, short. You can see the distance to the shore here. It's right behind me, and it's the same distance on the other side. So I've got a stern anchor out holding the boat in position here because there's not enough room to swing. Because I have a 7-to-1 scope out, and I think I had about 7 feet, so over 50 feet out on the road. And so far it's holding. So otherwise, I'm going to relax here this afternoon, stay warm, read some books probably, maybe start getting some gear together for tomorrow's hike or a kayak and hike, and hopefully that will work out. Since I couldn't go under the bridge and scope that country out, I have to do more in this area and kind of just work my way back to the north slowly. Anyway, that's enough for now. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you later.